Hello and welcome back to LinaCreated, where we talk about creativity, monetizing that creativity, and future-proofing our business. Now, as you know, I have been working on a series of challenges using monochrome colors. So I've done green, purple, black and white. This week I'm doing a red challenge. So the wheel has chosen the color red, and I'm going to be creating a original piece of art using only my red art supplies. So if you want to take a look and see what I did in my previous challenges, go ahead and take a look at those videos, and stay tuned for this week's video. Do like, comment, and subscribe if you are interested to see what I do and what I do in the future and keeping up with me. So I thank you very much for watching. You have a really great day. And the color is red. So now I've decided to go back to pencil and paper and plan out my design. I'm using a sheet where at the bottom I'm going to put my ideas, and in the top portion I'm going to be actually drawing out what design I'm going to be, aiming towards, incorporating all of my ideas, or some combination of my ideas to see what is I'm going to be putting on the canvas ultimately. And I feel like I like using the pencil and paper. I think it's given me a lot more idea of what is actually going to come out, and it looks much more organic than using the digital, because it was good, it did seem like it would be more convenient to do it digitally, but hell no, this thing works out much better when I actually take pencil to paper and just draw it out. So I think for the red, I decided to go with lips and a rose, and obviously portrait, because I do a lot of portraiture. So this is like my area of comfort in drawing, some combination of nature and portraits, or portraits or nature. Yeah, so I'm having a little trouble here. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm having a little trouble drawing a rose. I'm drawing it obviously from memory. Then I did pull up some pictures online. I did do Googles to see, how does a rose really look for real. And so this is when I start carving it out. It's definitely not perfect drawing by any means, because I'm just kind of freehanding it. But it's pretty good. It's not too bad. And the painting is just up for idea of like where the shade is going to be. So like right now I'm plotting in, okay, where's it going to be dark, where's it going to be light, so I have an idea of like how I'm going to do it, and we figure out like the actual rose lookingness once I'm actually painting. But this gave me a very good idea of like what I'm supposed to be putting on there, and like the proportions and the placements of everything. A few little details, plotting in her hair and her jawline and eyebrow, everything. Decided to put a little curl on there, a little edge. So pretty much this is like the basic of the design. I think I just fuss with it a little bit to make sure, get an idea of exactly where all the shading is going to be, all the shadows and all the highlights. and to get the shape of the face and everything, you know, to my liking. And that was it. So now to my materials. Obviously I have my beloved gouache paints. We've got a few markers and the regular acrylic paints. We've got the bright red, and then we've got some white and some black, so in case I want a darker red or a lighter red, I could do that. And we've got some glitters as well and some pink tones. So red is a light, pink is a light red, if you didn't know. So that's why we've got different shades of red and some pinks. So now I'm just basically blobbing on all the paint colors that I have onto a piece of paper that I'm using as a palette now. And I'm just trying to mix up a dark red, a really deep maroon red to put in the background here. At this point I'm just basically just slapping in the color, really, just to get the base in, and then get the sides, you know. Now I'm getting a deeper red for the rose itself. This is more like a pinkish red, you know, like a. And then for the actual top of the petal, where the light hits it, I just, you know, lightened it up a little bit. Use a little bit of white to brighten up brighten up the red into like a pink tone, you know. So that's what you're seeing there. Now it's cut off at the bottom there, but what I'm doing right now is basically painting in okay, there we go. So I'm painting in like different dark reds to kind of signify and like signal that there is the stem and the leaves of the rose is actually there. So everything is kind of tinted in red, as if there's like a bright red light on. Maybe even a dim red light, because the background's quite dark, isn't it? But yeah, there's a red light over everything, or a red filter over everything. So you can imagine even the stem and the leaves are going to be some shade of red, but like a really distorted color of red, like a dirty red. That's kind of how those stem and the stem and the leaves look, because of the fact that it's, you know, naturally it would be a green. So now I'm just basically flooding in the color for the face. So we've used a much lighter tone of red. So the pinks, it's like different shades of pinks, and getting that in there. It's real Pepto-Bismol looking. And just make sure I get in the sides, you know, because the painting is not finished if the sides aren't painted, obviously, right? So I'm just slapping in that paint and just trying to catch the highlights and the lowlights, shadows with different shades. So the light pinks go on the tops of everything, and then the dark pinks go on the bottom of everything, so on the other side of everything, so like under her chin, under the top lip, under the bottom lip, and above the top lip and above the bottom lip we've got the highlight, so a little bit lighter pink, and then we've got that on the cheeks and the top of the ears, just to give that shape. It starts to indicate like, okay, this is rounded here. And then the hair is like a bright red, because obviously that's a much darker color. Now I'm just going in with like a fine brush to get into the corners here. And make sure they sharpen up all of those lines there. And help to differentiate between the background and the actual portrait, you know. This is helping the rose to pop as well, to get in those getting the creases and make it a little bit darker. So now, yeah, I'm still using that darker red to pick out those details in the face and around the ears, and around the mouth and the eyelashes and everything like that. Define out those eyebrows. Then the cheekbone came out quite harsh, so basically just blended it out. This chin really needed a lot of work, because if you make the chin too strong, it can look too masculine. So there's a real fine line. Like, a strong jaw does look very beautiful, but you can't make it too strong, because then it starts looking manly, and we don't want that on a female, not necessarily. So obviously the lips is a very particular lip I was looking for. Like on the picture, her lips are closed, like the plan. Her lips are closed, and that gave the aesthetic, like she's actually smelling, she's using her nose, you know. And so in the early part of this painting, you'll see like her mouth is open. Like the way that I start painting it is like her mouth is open, but that didn't really go with what I was trying to do. So you see how her mouth is open right there, so it's kind of like didn't really match with what was going on in the picture. So I ended up having to fix that, even though it looked really good. really good, like one of the best mouths I've ever done too. So, but it's not really the mouth that I needed for the painting, because it's supposed to be signifies that she's smelling the roses, so she needs to be using her nose, not her mouth. Like this mouth that she has right now looks like she's about to blow. Just deepening, intensifying that highlight around the edges of the stem and the leaves here, so that you could kind of see, you could see it much better. Yeah, so this little piece was giving me a little bit of trouble. I was trying to get those tones right. Like, do I want it to be bright? Do I want it to be dark, since it's on that side of the rose? It was a little bit tricky, because I wanted to build up that volume so it can look round, you know. I didn't want it to look flat. And then just picking out those highlights as well, you know, so they can pick up the light in the room. I'm just adding in like some texture now, like just putting some like jagged lines, some straight up and down lines all over the background of the canvas, so it just seems more textured and more, you know, not so flat. This is just basically a little bit of a lighter red than what's in the background, so it just gives it a little bit more like a little gravitas. Underside there of the rose, just basically messing with the shades and the highlights here, just trying to make sure that I'm getting those shapes, getting the shape exactly how I want it. Then I just used a pastel actually to blend out some shape, because it's one of the best things you could use to get that shading and to get that smooth rounded look, you know what I mean? If you put the highlight there and you can actually blend much easier using a pastel. So I love using a pastel, especially to finish up a piece. And then I just added in a little bit to the background as well to add more texture to the background. Just put some more jagged lines up and down. And that was my finished piece. So you guys let me know how you feel about this. Is it cute? Did I do a good job? How does it compare to the rest of these pieces? Which one is your favorite? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.